Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Juan Felipe Duque, and I'm going to give you a small talk about PydanticAI, which, as you may have guessed, is yet another AI agent framework. But in my opinion, this one is quite interesting, even though it's quite young. Even this, if you remember the latest PyCon last year, this one doesn't even exist. And it haven't reached even a stable version now. They are planning to reach version 1.0 actually this summer. Now, a little bit about me. I am a Bachelor of Science in Electronic Engineering from the University of Antioquia. Me and my other 3 associates, we run a software business here in Colombia. We build appointment systems. And I am living the Colombian dream with my wife and daughter. Does anyone here knows what the Colombian dream is? Someone said yes? Okay, let me explain. The Colombian dream is to live an hour commute away from a major city in the countryside of Colombia, in a small cottage, or as we call them, a finca, enjoying good weather all year long, paying $30 for half a gigabit fiber internet connection, and to grow your own avocados. I've been moderately successful in all of them except for the avocado part, because we city dwellers suck at growing our own food. If you come yesterday to the talk about clean architecture, that guy also sucked growing his own tomatoes because we're all engineers. But what we are good for is for playing sandbox-style video games. Do you recognize any one of these? The top one is Minecraft, the bottom left is Factorio, and the bottom right is Satisfactory. This type of video games are quite popular in the engineering community because they allow us to build stuff and to see it working. Now, these video games share something in common in that they start with extremely simple and basic tools, and they expect you to achieve a great objective with only that small tool. For example, in Factorio, the one at the bottom left, you start with a pickaxe in an alien planet, and you're expected to transform natural resources like copper, iron, stone, wood, coal, and uranium to build a spaceship. So, by using simple composable tools, this is the building gun from Satisfactory, because basically you have to build a factory in an alien planet, but using only one tool, but it's one simple tool. By using simple tools, you open yourself to infinite creative possibilities. Because using simple tools is like the only scalable and reliable way to build complex systems. Now, PydanticAI is an agent framework designed to make it easier to build production-grade applications using generative AI. It was actually built by the same team that gave us Pydantic, which is the validation layer of several great projects that you may be familiar with. And now, I'm going to give you like a short feature showcase so that you know why it will be worth it to give PydanticAI a try. Now, in my opinion, one of the greatest features of PydanticAI is that it is model agnostic, which means that you can plug several different language models without changing too much of your code. And it supports all the biggest and known players. It supports running local models using Oyama. It supports inference providers like Grok. Do you know what an inference provider is? Which is basically a cloud provider that gives you access to hardware so you can run your own models on it. It's actually cheaper than renting, than using, for example, OpenAI or Anthropic. And to show you how does that work, I'm going to implement a small demonstration. We're going to build the same agent and run it with several different models. This agent is going to do a simple task, which is to automatically process user requests stored in a database, a lightweight SQLite database. From each request, the agent is going to generate a summary in English, and then it will determine if that request is appropriate and can be fulfilled. For requests that are unethical or malicious, they're going to be identified and they're going to be rejected. Now, what we're going to do, I have prepared a virtual environment using UV. By this time, are you reading, is this font type large enough? Are you reading those back there? Can you read this? Good. So in this time, you should be all really just be using UV. It's a great bit of software to manage Python virtual environments. Actually, it is written in Rust, so it is fast, nice, tight, everything else. So we're going to show you our current requests that are in the database. They are in English, Spanish, and Portuguese, and we're going to process them using different models. We're going to begin with the slowest one, which is JAMA 3.1, which is running here on my laptop, so it will take some time. Let's hope the battery lasts. After Oyama finishes its work, we're going to try it with some of the more common models. We can try Claude Sonnet 4, and we can try OpenAI's GPT-4o. And after those, we're going to try with some medium-sized models, Google Flash 2.5, and Amazon Titan, the middle model. I don't remember the name. Because sometimes we think that if we don't use the larger models, then our project is going to suck. But actually, there is a huge variety of models. Have you ever went to Hugging Face website? If you enter there, there is like 100 of thousands of models there that you can. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It is now finished with the first request. I still have battery. And yeah, about a minute and a half to write, yeah, I can help with that. But the useful part of this is that I use a local model. There are advantages of using local models. For example, they're free if you do not consider the capital investment of the hardware required to run it. But when you have the hardware ready, or you have the cloud credits available, it becomes free to run. So let's try it with, let's go with a good one. Let's go with Sonnet 4. You may notice that this is a lot faster than using my local model. And the user requests are then evaluated and rejected. For example, the number 2 is a request for a user that is asking how to create a fake profile on social media platforms. As we all know, almost all language models come with some degree of protection built into them. And the last one we're going to showcase is a faster model from Google to fulfill the remaining requests. The code for each agent is available in a GitHub repository I'm going to share you at the end of the talk. And as you may have noted, this model is quite fast and is quite cheap and is not that different from greater models so that you can consider them. So this is the whole list of user requests. And we run the same agent with different models. So let's go to the next demonstration, which is about type safety. The great deal about PydanticAI is that it is a framework for data modeling and validation. As you all know, even the talks from yesterday's morning, all of them make significant use of PydanticAI. We're going to use PydanticAI to extract information from natural language data. The demonstration I'm going to show you is complaint data extraction and analysis. Basically, we're going to take two samples of user complaints. One of them is like the ideal case when a user takes the time to look for an email, to redact a polite email, to stating its problem, its situation, and to ask for help. That is like the ideal case. And then we're going to expose the model to a more realistic case. Actually, it's a case that was quite viral about 14 years ago here in Colombia. I'm not sure if you guys remember the situation with the lady called Patricia that placed a call to a call center asking for their internet service to be reconnected, and after a while she went berserk and started issuing rude words and slurs against the service representative. Do you remember that? Yeah, okay. So I've made a transcription of that call, and we're going to test what can we extract from that transcription. This is the text of the polite complaint. It includes the name of the customer, the situation that needs help with, even the name of the service agents that were involved. So our goal here is to extract what we need from that letter. We need to extract the name of the customer, the name of the service agents, and if there is a phone number in there, we need to extract it too. And the seriousness of the issue. To run that, this agent runs Sonnet 4, and as you can see, the extraction is complete. The great thing about this demonstration here is that there is no system prompt involved. In here, I just declare the agent and then pass it a Pydantic model specifying which fields I need to extract. Actually, if you came to last year's PyCons, there was an economist that time called Jorge Londoño, which made a similar talk about this, about how to make language models to output structured data. Fast forward 1 year, that single feature is quite important and it's been evolving over time. So now we're going to try with the other transcription. So because it is, since it is not like an email complaint, it is a transcript, so we're going to adjust that by stating that it is a transcript. And then we pass the text. The funny thing about this is the first time I run this script, the model tagged that situation as critical. And since that time, every subsequent run is tagged as high. So I don't know if the model got more tolerant or more relaxed, but the exact same situation with the exact same customer is no longer critical. Now, the last feature I'm going to show you is multi-agent applications. I am sure that you guys, those who work with AI agents, are faced with the increased chance of hallucinations when the context grows too much. One practical solution to that is to separate a single monolithic heavy agent into several smaller agents. Actually, the most common architecture is to declare a single coordinating agent that runs using a heavyweight language model like OpenAI O3, like Claude Opus 4, like AWS Nova Pro, any smart, large model, expensive model, and then declare as many specialized agents using medium to small language models. So the goal of this last demonstration is to use a multi-agentic approach to perform credit application analysis. So we're going to build a single coordinating agent running Claude Sonnet 4, and then 3 other specialized agents. One to perform data validation, a second one to perform and assess financial feasibility, and a third one to perform a background check. And with the decision of all the specialized agents, and credit decision, it will be performed. These are the demonstration credit applicants. All these are false data, and the acceptance criteria is, first one, to have a minimum credit score of 650, and the income must be 2 times or more the expenses. Pues al revés. Que gane el doble de lo que se gasta. Listo. Now, the processing agent is going to pick an applicant at random. The way this approach works is that the governing agent, the coordinated agent, uses other agents as tool calls. So, this is a lucky fella. This one got the data validation. This one basically just validates that this address is real, that this date is real. The background check for this example just validates that there is no fraud substring in the name, and the financial evaluation agent basically checks that he earns more that he spends, and that the credit score is good enough. We can try, for example, with this guy, I think it's the number 9. That its credit score is not high enough. Now, you might be wondering, but yeah, you don't really need a language model to do simple number comparison. Yeah, but if for any one of you that have ever asked for a credit application, they do not ask only for that. Any standard financial institution is going to ask for a crapload of information about you, about your family, about your dog, about your neighbor, and that constitutes like the business model. And in that scenario, it makes sense to use a tool like this. Now, you have seen that building AI agents at this time, it is easier than ever. Basically, not only me, but several other speakers from yesterday, from the past PyCon, they've been building agents, or they've been building software that includes language models to solve real-world problems. The problem with that is, right now, I think that AI has more impact than all the previous tech waves in the last decade, in my opinion. For example, do you guys remember the IoT, the Internet of Things craziness about 8 years ago? When the major hardware manufacturers, even Cisco, Philips, went into it saying that it's going to be a new future about when everything is going to be connected, your house appliances, your fridge, your toaster, your light bulbs, even your security cameras are all going to be connected, and it's going to be great. Fast forward a few years later, and we all have a smart speaker at home that we use to listen to music, to ask for the date and time, and in my case, to set up a kitchen timer. And of course, you may have Wi-Fi light bulbs. Half of them are burned. The other half doesn't work because the manufacturer discontinued the protocol that you used to handle them. So that tech wave has decreased in importance and relevance over time. In my opinion, something similar happened to the crypto world. Yeah, several people make buttloads of money working on crypto, but the banks did not disappear. The governments kept printing money. And right now, the state of crypto is more of a niche, and not a small niche, but it's still a niche. But in the case of AI in the life of the common folk, in my opinion, that is different from all those before. I'm going to explain you I'm going to explain you why. Because, as I told you a while ago, the real challenges are not solved using frameworks. Let's start with the first one, which is a little bit concerning, and this is the AI disclosure dilemma. Right now, it is not the best decision to show your products that include AI, because right now there is considerable backlash about you exposing your product that uses AI, because there is some concern among the population, actually the 52% of Americans, and this research is from 2 years ago. There is actual concern in the population about the impact of AI, whether it is AI taking jobs, whether it is AI replacing people, replacing deaf people, replacing therapies, replacing several stuff. So right now, we people that build software with AI are faced with a curious dilemma. Shall we tell our customers, our researchers, that we use AI? Another dilemma is to expose AI to vulnerable populations. For example, let me tell you a story that I had with my daughter, an 8-year-old girl. One afternoon after school, I was making lunch. And I was at the kitchen, so I let her borrow my phone so that she can say hello to her aunt and her grandma. I was boiling pasta, and after a while, my daughter came running and gave the phone back to me. She was scared. So I asked her, "Hey, Gabby, what's going on?" And she said, "Dad, the devil is speaking over WhatsApp." The devil, the last time I checked, none of my contacts is the devil. So let me take a look. And I found out that she clicked an ad at YouTube that took her to an AI character service that works over WhatsApp. So she clicked a link on one character picture, and it turned out to be an AI with a system prompt to make it behave like the devil. My daughter obviously didn't know that it is a robot speaking, but my daughter and children of that age are vulnerable to this kind of platforms. Another example, not speaking of children, but speaking of people that may spend too much time on GPT, is a situation that users at Reddit call ChatGPT-induced psychosis. This is quite interesting because some users, when talking with GPT, with Claude, with Gemini, they start to believe what the algorithm, what the model is telling them. And since you all know, those models are trained to be helpful. That is like the default system prompt that you see in every documentation. Be a helpful assistant, and nice and concise, but helpful. So the model will do everything it can to help you, even if it does harm to you. So for example, there's been cases of users of GPT that somehow think that God itself is speaking to them over ChatGPT, and that they are in some way chosen ones, and they need to keep talking, like to open their minds or to release the consciousness that lives behind that chat window. It is their fault? Of course not. They may be vulnerable people that have undiagnosed mental diseases, and that is why we as developers, as creators, craftsmen and craftswomen, we must be conscious of that reality. We must create safeguard, guardrails. No. Minute left. Okay, so I'll be wrapping up. And the last thing, sorry about chopping that we're going to run out of time. And the last one, this one actually affects us all. The automation decision making. You may have found out that when you're applying for a new job, chances are that your resume, your curriculum is going to be screened by an algorithm before it is passed to a human guy at Human Resources that is going to evaluate later. Basically, something like that happened to Duolingo, which they one day came out with assumingly great idea of being an AI-first company. We're going to do everything by AI, and we're not going to hire anyone unless an AI can do its job. What happened? Disaster came. Everybody, time is over. Un poquito más. No. Okay. I will load up the presentation to my repo. Sorry about that. I don't have a, no, I do have a watch here, but the key takeaways of the presentation. The first one, keep it simple when picking up the stack that you're using to build agents. Try to keep it small. Use tools that allow you to break things and to build them up again. Second takeaway, focus on the problem. None of the speakers from yesterday had problems with cloud, with operating system, with database, none. All of their problems were in the problem realm. Consider the impact if what you're building is business to customer, or if you use Python for research. If your research involves information about people, like clinical records, like information about diseases, be careful with that. And as Uncle Ben said, build responsibly. With great power comes great responsibility. So this QR code is for the GitHub repo if you want to take a look. And if you want to connect with me later, there's my LinkedIn. And I think that's it. Thank you for the extra minutes, Carlos, and thank you all for coming.
Okay.